What's going on, everybody? This is Afro Think Tank. Black woman explains to black women that they can grow their hair just like black men. Because there's a lot of black women that are confused, right, about their own hair, right? But their own counterpart, the black man, is his hair and his truth is flying in the face of the things they want to believe about their hair. You see, black women always say, oh, I can't grow my hair long because I'm black and my hair don't grow long, right? White society, because we always got to trace back the mental illness that permeates within the black community. We can always trace it back to some white person being jealous and telling us about ourselves instead of us believing our own selves about ourselves, right? So we have a history of our black women hair being suppressed by white people because of their jealousy, right? And they suppressed our hair utilizing that Christianity that black people still to this day can't seem to get that last chain off their neck, right? Justifying it by making Jesus Christ black, justifying it by saying the Ethiopians were the first Christians, when in fact they're wrong on both accounts because the Ethiopians were converted to Christianity. That's why they were early Christians. And Jesus Christ, the picture that you see is a goddamn the Pope's son, Du Bois, who was a murdering genocidal piece of shit. And just because you paint his face black doesn't change anything. Everybody around there was black. Everybody in the Bible was black, right? The time period, they were black. Even the damn Greeks, all that great shit, those were the swarthy black people who created their societies until those Anglo-Saxons came down. We taught them civilizations. They became the Greeks, and then they just cosplayed us, and that has been the center of European society forever, right? But when it comes to this hair, look at me, I'm a black man. Look how far my hair. I have long ass hair. It's mine, all right? This is the second time I've grown my hair out this long, all right? And no, putting your hair in locks doesn't make your hair grow faster. It just appears so because of the weight of the hair, right? But you too can grow your hair this long without locking it up. Like I said, it's the second time. And the truth that's being told now is, you see, when black folks, when black dudes, we lock our hair up or we grow our hair out, we don't put a bunch of chemicals in our hair. We didn't grow up putting a bunch of relaxers in our hair. We didn't grow up getting our hair permed and pressed and conditioned to the point of staleness. And the thing is, our little black girls who've been told that they need to look like little white girls to be accepted in society, they grew up trying to capitulate to whiteness, trying to conform, right? And by doing so, they have been permanently damaging their scalp, their follicles, and their hair for so long that by the time they become adults and decide, damn, I want to just grow my own natural hair out, it's very difficult. They have to go through a rejuvenational period, right? And they have to get rid of all the creamy cracks that white people give them to put in their hair to capitulate to what white people say you're supposed to look like. When you see, that's the thing, when you dive into your blackness, when you're African, when you know you're African and you're proud of your hair, you're proud of the follicles that come out your hair, and you unapologetically, you'll just grow it. You'll give it the things that it needs to grow. Cocoa butter, shea butter, all the butters. Y'all know the butters is everything and all things to everybody, for all of us. White folks don't even know about the butters, right? If they knew about the butters, shit, their hair would look better. Their skin would be better, right? But they don't know about the butters. They so busy suppressing us. Only the ones that know about the butters, that's telling everybody the butters, right, that's using the butters. I use the butters. I'm all about the butters. And all we need is the butters. And I can just say that because there's more butters. Ain't just shea butter and cocoa, but we got some butters, all right? We know that using the natural things that the earth provides to put in our hair, we don't need no processed chemicals. We just use the natural things to emphasize our hair. Then everybody, all black women, could grow their hair long, whether it be locks or not locks. So I just need black women to look at their black men and see, look, these black men, we barely do shit to our hair. We just go get it done. That's all we do. We don't put a bunch of this in that, a bunch of that in that, because it's not manly, right? It's like the S curl days are over with. That shit ain't never come back. Everything else came back but that shit. Like between the 70s and remember that shit? I ain't gonna lie, I used to go get that S box. Back in the military, boy, couldn't tell me shit. Boy, my hair was like, whoop. Left that shit in too long one day. That was the last time I did that shit, okay? I learned my lesson, all right? I fucked around and found out, right? And then after that, I didn't make a mistake no more. But as you can see, my hair is long, okay? Proud. And I know what this hair represents. This means this hair represents black warriors. It means it represents wisdom and it represents spirituality. This is a African spiritual tradition to grow your hair out, especially as a man. It means you are strong and wise. You have to almost earn your locks at some point. We got to kind of get back to that. Even in Africa, you see all those bald kids in the villages? It's because some white missionary told them that their hair was of the devil. You just keep going back. It's always some white person in their insecurities making sure that we are lesser than what they believe because they've been jealous of us. We need to stop listening to white people and valuing their words because their words are damaging to us. We need to go back to listening to our own words. Women, black women, look at your man. Look how long his hair is. You keep getting jealous of your man's hair. Look what he's not doing to his hair. And look what you are doing to your hair. And if you want your hair to be as long as your black man, then do what your black man is doing. And your hair will also, I don't know how, listen, my wife got long hair. Her hair longer than mine. She got hers locked up. Beautiful C4 hair. Tight. All right, you can't get no tighter than her hair. All right, she about 100%, she about 200% Nigerian. That's what it is. She got extra Nigerian on top of Nigerian. All right, like straight up. Even though her family from Alabama. But her granddaddy was from Nigeria somewhere. All right, so she got that super curl. And her hair was not long at first. She locked it up, and by locking it up, what it does is once you lock your hair up, you stop using the chemicals you used to do to straighten it, right? So you basically give your hair the ability to heal itself, nurture itself, and you start to use the butters, the products that are good for your hair, right? Because your hair is locks, and then all of a sudden your hair grows long, and you think, oh, it's because you got locks. No, it's because you stopped using all them chemicals you used to use when you was getting all those hairstyles you keep saying you love so much, right? Instead of utilizing the African hair and doing the thousands upon thousands upon thousands of hairstyles that we have that white folks cannot possibly do, even with the strongest, most concrete mousse they can invent. You know what I'm saying? So we just got to get back to ourselves, value our own hair, and start treating our hair with respect, right? You have to treat your hair with respect. And sometimes treating your hair with respect looks rough on the outside, all right? Because your mind has been conditioned to believe that frills are imperfections, believing that the fact that your hair can go up, left, right, vertical, in all manners of different directions is something that's negative. You think that flat, straight hair going straight down to the ground, you think that's perfection. That is what's beautiful and desirable. But in fact, that's one way to look beautiful and desirable, because I'm not going to say it's ugly. It is gorgeous. But we as black people have many different styles, and our black hairstyles complement our black faces. You understand? Our black hairstyles complement our black faces. I don't know how many black women I see on the internet that just got these ridiculous things on the top of their head that make them look ridiculous. They look about as ridiculous as an African wearing one of those goddamn judge white wigs and shit, talking about they judges. They got this goddamn carpet on their head. They look that ridiculous. A lot of you black women look ridiculous with some of these things y'all put on top of y'all head, and y'all think y'all look good, and you guys look ridiculous, and everybody's looking at you like you're ridiculous, but you think you look amazing. And therein lies the problem. Because when you look in the mirror, you don't see somebody that looks ridiculous for putting something that don't belong on your head. On your head, you see something that looks beautiful because you are so insecure about yourself that crap that you put on your head is the only thing that you find beauty in and value in, instead of your natural self and what your head could do. That's a problem that we have to deal with within our communities, because that's something that has been ingrained in us, poisoned into us by that white man, who at the same time being derogatory towards us and always making our hair look like it's that of the devil, using Christianity. They always use Christianity as a medium to call everything that's not white, Christian, Anglo-Saxon, barbarian as something inherently bad, lesser than, or subhuman, right? Until we get that shit poison out of our body, we're always going to suffer the consequences of white supremacy and what it has done to us, all right? And what it has done to us is destroy our beautiful black women's scalps, right? Destroying their hair ability to grow and thrive with the sun. Anyway, you guys tell me what you think in the comment sections. Afro Think Tank, learn something, teach something. I'm out.
Black woman, answer me this. We have males that have the same hair texture as us. Why aren't they wearing wigs and weave to protect their hair? Explain to me this. And why a lot of black men, dreads be longer than us? Hair be longer than us. But then we're sitting here saying we need to protect our hair. Why don't they need to protect their hair? And they got the same hair texture as us. It's only women that are not noticing that they are brainwashed to think that their hair is unprofessional, to think that their hair is hard to maintain, but never try to maintain it. Again, we have another sex with the same hair texture as us, and they don't wear wigs and weave. They embrace their natural hair. They wear their natural hair. And y'all sitting here saying it's hard to maintain, but you just don't want to admit that you hate your hair. And that's why you wear other textures that's not yours. Y'all hate your hair. We have another sex that have the same hair texture that don't need to protect it.
Alright, I saw this video on here, and somebody said, why do black dudes got more hair than black girls? Well, it's not a lot of dudes out here putting all these crazy perms in their hair, this color and all this stuff. A lot of these females' mothers ruined their hair. A lot of dudes now are getting dreads and doing it the natural way. You know what I'm saying? Because it is crazy. I have seen some dudes, well, not some, I've seen a lot of dudes with longer hair than the black chicks. And it's supposed to be the other way around, right? But I think because they put all these chemicals in their head, you know what I'm saying? And it's crazy that the black dudes are taking care of their hair more than the black females. You know what I'm saying? And black women have beautiful hair. If they would stop putting all this stuff in their head and let it grow. I got some women in my family got some long hair, and they black. They just take care of it. They stop putting the perms in their head and all the other stuff, and they got some nice hair.
The main reason why a lot of black women struggle with hair growth is not because of our genetics, and it's not because of some type of magic product that they're missing. It's because of damage that you are doing to your own hair. And that can be through brushing, that can be through how you wash and manipulate your hair, that can be from the type of wigs and protective styling that you're using. If we could be honest with ourselves about the fact that our issue is not hair growth, our issue is hair retention, then we would be able to focus more on what practices will actually help us to improve that for the long run.
So it's anti-black to highlight how disproportionately black women are suffering from all types of hair and scalp issues, such as traction alopecia. A lot of the times which comes from the braiders you are defending with using this braiding gel. And then on top of it, you're trying to justify braiding gel because it has the word conditioning, but you don't really know what the word conditioning means. Conditioning doesn't equate to healthy. Conditioning just means it's either making the hair more manageable, making it smoother, or making it softer. And braiding gel adds a coating to the hair that makes it smoother and slicker and gives shine. But it's not aiding in the health or benefit of the hair. You're saying people are trying to figure out their hair. Yeah, the problem is the braiders are figuring it out and they're not getting it right. I'm not figuring it out. I already know what it is. And with me highlighting that all these black women's hair is tore up, the majority of black women's hair is tore up. A lot of black women are struggling to get their hair past tickling their shoulders. A lot of black women are struggling with traction alopecia. A lot of black women are struggling with CCCA alopecia. A lot of black women are struggling with dermatitis and scalp issues from all this braiding hair and hair addition that's toxic and literally destroying their hair, their scalps, and their bodies, and the reproductive system, and causing fibroids. You even know what you're saying? Like, y'all just like throwing around this term anti-black. Have this conversation with someone that doesn't know what they're talking about. I know what I'm talking about. I know what I see. The braiding gel is literally like, especially when you're using it in excess, I'm okay with a little bit being used. The question is, why aren't braiders able to do basic braid designs without over-relying on this product? Because it's a lack of skill. I'm encouraging people to better their technique and skill so that they don't have to rely on so much product, so that if they do these styles, it doesn't put people's hair at risk for damage. This braiding gel is coating the hair and making it slick and smooth. What prevents hair from being slick and smooth? Moisture. So you think using half a jar of braiding gel that's going to block out moisture is going to be healthy for the hair? You think that's going to prevent people's hair from being tore up? No. The braiders are tearing people's hair up. That's why black women are having a hard time growing their hair. Because they won't wear the hair. Because they keep putting all this braiding hair and all these weaves and stuff in their hair. And it's tearing up their scalp and tearing up their hair. I don't understand like why this logic is so hard for y'all to comprehend. And then you're saying some people's hair will break off when it's wet? So you think taking a blow dryer and drying out all the moisture in people's hair is going to make it more durable? You think it's going to make it more resistant to break? Scientifically speaking, hair that's wet has 50% more elasticity. Elasticity is the hair's ability to stretch and pull back into itself. When you have hair that is dry or dried out, you reduce the elasticity. So now the hair has less give. So the hair is actually more likely to break, braiding it dry. And then not only are you braiding it dry with very minimal elasticity, you're taking a thick ass product and oversaturating it in the hair. And have you seen these braiders take fine tooth combs, jam it in the roots, and try to pull it through from the roots to the ends? Have you seen that? You think that's healthier? You don't think that's anti-black? Literally tearing up people's hair and using excessive product to try to mask a texture and create a standard of beauty for the hair that's unrealistic. You literally have to slather the hair in gel just to get the smooth, sleek look that you're trying to create with the braids, which resembles a whole different texture. That's not anti-black, but me calling out how black women are consistently damaging their hair through damaging processes and crying protective style is anti-black.
Log journey, especially when it comes to the mental part of it, is totally different than a black woman's. Obviously, we both went through the log journey, but I feel like as a black woman, your main goal is to like grow your hair long. It's like if you're a black man, a lot of the time, people are telling you like, okay, when you gonna cut them? They're getting a little too long. Why would you want long hair? Like, and this is instilled in black men even when they're a child. Even when it comes to like accessorizing their locks, like the girls, you know, we have so many different styles we can do. We can put little lock sprinkles in our hair. If you see a guy with like little clips in his hair and stuff like that, most women or people just in general are going to be like, okay. You know, it just continues to reiterate that like if they play with their hair, if they grow their hair out, it's somewhat adjacent to being feminine. And then like even 10 years ago when it came to dating, everybody wanted a man with a little nice fade, with little nice waves. I'm not going to lie. Shout out to the wave men. But also, it's very attractive and just really dope to see black men standing out and breaking these stereotypes that they can still be manly with long hair and with their natural hair growing from their head. So yeah, shout out to all the black men with their locks. This is mine. Your locks look so cute right now.
Man, them will start growing their hair 2 years ago, and now your hair surpassed the length of the girl's hair.
Here's the real reason why men's hair seems to grow longer, faster, and it's not what you think. Hair retention is key. Don't focus on how fast your hair grows. Focus on how well you keep it. Women often struggle with hair retention more than men. Ooh, y'all be looking good in these hairstyles, yes? But these hairstyles also be whooping your ass. Now, you blinking to the left or you raise your eyebrow the wrong way, pop goes your hair follicle. Just bloop, it's gone. And next thing you know, you're suffering from traction alopecia. Pause to read because I'm gonna move on. This is one of our customers, by the way. We helped her grow her hair back. So reach out to the website if you want to know more. Now, stress. You might be pulling your hair out. You might be going through postpartum or going through something else. But let me know what you think in the comments or if you want a part 2.
Black boys have longer hair than girls right now. And seeing these black boys having longer hair, just literally, I've learned the secrets of having long hair. And the key is not the deep conditioning, this best product, that product. It was never about that product because these boys, they don't have no more than 3 products in their toilets. These boys, yeah, they don't apply no heat. They keep their hair, the hairstyles, them cornrows, them dreads, whatever, for like 3 months, sometimes more. Like, I saw this boy, like, he had such a bad cornrows on it. Like, they were so old. But I know when he takes them off, they are long as hell. The secret is low manipulation, no heat. They don't do nothing. They keep it going. Us girls, we change our hair every 2 weeks. We use heat. We do tight-ass hairstyles and braids and ponytails and all that. We glue our hair. That's how our hairs ain't growing. Like, I've been growing my hair for 5 years, and the boy that grew his hair last year is having longer hair than mine. Like, make it make sense. And he's all to do, he's doing nothing to his hair. He's leaving it alone and be. Whereas I am touching it every single week. It's never to do with the products. It was never to do with the best living, the best deep conditioner, the best. It was just to do with leaving it the fuck alone.
One of my mutuals got on here and said, why are African Americans the bald head race? And as an African American woman, just looking at every other race really do have long hair. And we really the bald head race for real. Like, we really gotta We really gotta grow our hair brick by brick, okay? Hair routine by hair routine, baby. The hair that it took me to grow my whole life, they be having at 5. And it's crazy because black babies always come out with the most hair. Like, every other race of babies be bald head. And then by 2 years old, they hair to their ankles. And our hair be to our ear. Like, it's really, what's with it? For real. Why are we the bald hair race?
This is my observation as to why black women cannot grow long hair. I am black and I actually have waist length hair, but most black women cannot grow long hair. That's just the truth. But I feel like I've understood this on a deeper level as of someone who studies hair regularly, because I have a hair care brand called Alexia's Beauty, and I sell hair growth products. My hair growth oil is one of the best on the market. But with doing research in hair growth and what works great with hair, I know that your nervous system is connected, is way more connected than you think to your hair. Think of your insides as a bunch of vines when it comes to your nervous system, but your hair is like, it's like a sprout of your nervous system. Your hair is literally an antenna connected to your nervous system. It is scientifically proven that when you are more stressed, which also correlates to your nervous system, if you are under a lot of stress, your nervous system will not be regulated. This will result in hair loss and slow hair growth. And if you think about the average black woman, most of us live in survival mode. Most of us are chronically stressed, and we don't understand how this affects your nervous system and so many more things in your body, but we're just focusing on hair growth. A lot of black women, and I could speak upon this because I am a black woman, we go through a lot, especially if you're a mother, especially if you're a business owner, especially if you have a lot of responsibilities. You are living in survival mode. When your hair falls out, is due to what? Is due to stress. It could also be nutrient deficiency, but a lot of times your hair could fall out simply because of stress. I have also went through stress-induced hair loss, but I really believe that people need to understand your nervous system is intertwined with a lot of things, but specifically we're talking about hair. I've actually seen videos of women also discussing how regulating their nervous system has increased their hair growth. This is scientifically proven, y'all. I'm not just talking out of I believe this, and this is actual factual. So if you want to grow your hair longer outside of having a good hair care routine and eating the proper nutrients and minerals and vitamins that you need, also, you have to regulate your stress, regulate your nervous system.
Do you know why so many African women and girls outside the big cities keep their hair really short? Class is in session, it's time for a history lesson with Women's Africa. Across Africa, our diverse cultures have more ways to style and celebrate our hair than almost anything else. But if you've walked through a village in many parts of the continent, you might find a sea of heads that all look the same, regardless of gender. If you ask people, like I did as a kid in Uganda, why they shave their children's hair, they'll probably tell you that when it's long, it's too difficult, too untidy, too unmanageable, even though we've known how to manage our hair for thousands of years. So why do we keep telling ourselves this? It all goes back to missionaries. When Europeans landed in Africa, spreading hate, violence, and the Bible, they decided that our hair was unsightly and ungodly. They also saw long, styled hair as a sign of womanhood and sexualized the way it grows out of our heads, using it to control and oppress women in particular. When missionaries started their Christian education system, the rules mandated that all girls shave their heads to the scalp. To this end, cultural hairstyles were banned or criminalized in most schools and churches. Today, many schools across Central Africa still apply this rule. It's true that styling any hair texture takes a certain amount of time and money for products, which can be in short supply. But for many Africans, the choice to shave is less about convenience than they think. So next time you hear someone call our hair difficult or unmanageable, remember who put those words in our mouths.
If it was never that serious, why was it shaved off? If it was never that serious, why did they have to cover it? If it was never that serious, why do they have to straighten it? If it was never that serious, why is natural hair ghetto? If it was never that serious, why is it now okay for white women to wear bonnets in public and not black women? Racism is that deep and takes many, many, many forms, one of which is cultural appropriation. Cultural appropriation only happens after culture has been suppressed. And then we take what we want and appropriate it into our culture. And we say, this is mine, I thought of this. There's no such thing as a cloud bob, okay? It's an afro. It's an afro, and white hair doesn't do that naturally. I have curly white hair. Mine doesn't turn into an afro. If it's not that deep, why is respectability a thing? Why is their ability to mimic whiteness what allows them to get jobs and social advancement in this country, in this current day and age, today?
Some call it nappy. Some call it nappy. Some call it nappy. I call it her crown. When she walk in the room, watch the whole thing shut down. Used to let them tell her she should wear it laid down. Now she wear it how she want, and she wear it proud. Some call it nappy. I call it her crown. God took his time when he put that down.
Free Sudan! Boycott diamonds and gold! Free Sudan! Boycott diamonds and gold! We most definitely cannot forget about the people of Sudan!
Thanks for watching Afro Think Tank. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And follow me on Substack and Patreon for more content. Remember, it's Pan-Africanism or nothing.